Hi friends, my name is Krista. I'm the founder of Cocomelli Wellness Collective, and then Mateo is joining us today. He is behind us, but today we're going to do just a gentle movement flow. So you don't need any equipment at all. I have also made a playlist, a Spotify playlist, so I'm going to link that. You can listen along if you want, or just put on your own music. Gentle flow, no equipment needed, but if you want some props like a pillow or a blanket for your knees when we do kneeling, half kneeling things, go ahead and grab that and have it by you. But we're going to start with some breathing, some prone breathing, so on your belly. And I want you to really focus on expanding your back rib cage. So if you have a pillow and you want to put it under your belly to direct the flow, not here, but rather to your back rib cage, that can be a useful tool. You don't need to do that, but that's where I want you to focus your attention as we breathe. So we're going to just start with some breathing. Come to your bellies. You can go ahead and fold those hands under your head and rest yourself down on your belly. Again, as you inhale, I want you to focus on expanding that back rib cage. So the back of your rib cage, you're going to inhale through your nose, slow and controlled. And then exhale everything out. And just spend some time here connecting to your body and connecting to your breath, really focusing on that back rib cage, the back side of your ribs. Slow and controlled inhale and elongate that exhale like you're blowing out of a straw. Full exhale everything out. So just take some deep breaths here, breathe at your own pace, but I want you to breathe slow and controlled, focusing on that rib cage. Just start tuning in to how you're feeling today, how your body is feeling, what's going on with your mind, your heart. And take one more breath. And then go ahead and prop yourself up on your forearms. So lengthen through your limbs, lengthen through those legs, lengthen through your spine. You're going to prop yourself up on your forearms, and you're just going to do some head nods, chin to chest, and then look up towards the ceiling. So I want you to lead with your eyes. So eyes start the movement, your head will follow. And just move at your own pace. Chin to chest, and then look towards the ceiling. Just move through a controlled, pain-free range of motion. And then one more and come back to center, and then you're going to look over your shoulder. Again, lead with your eyes. Look over your shoulder towards your feet. Come back to center, other side, look over your shoulder towards your feet. We'll do a couple more. And then you're going to come back all the way down to your belly and rest one hand. So let's go one more each side. You're going to rest one hand under your head and the other hand on top of your head. And we're going to do some shoulder sweeps. So rest one hand under your head. The other hand is going to be on top of your head. And this is going to be the hand that you're going to work to start, or the side you're going to work to start. So relax that shoulder away from your ear. I want you to lift that elbow up as high as you can. So lift that elbow up as high as you can. And then lift your hand off your head to meet your elbow. extend to a high Y. And then you're going to rotate up at that shoulder all the way around to a low Y, and then hand to your butt or your back. You can let that elbow drop. You can do the same thing on the way back. So lift that elbow, lift your hand off your back to meet your elbow, extend to a low Y, rotate up at the shoulder all the way, high Y, palm down, hand to the back of your head, lower that elbow. So move slow and controlled through these shoulder sweeps. We're going to do a couple on each side. I want your focus to be that rotation happening up at the shoulder joint. So you're not just turning your palm. If you drew an X on your bicep, that X would be rotating all the way around. So the motion, the rotation, is happening up at the shoulder. And just move super slow-mo. I don't want you shrugging that shoulder, so take a second, check in to see what your shoulder blade's doing. Relax that shoulder away from your ear. And then go ahead and finish out your rep, and you're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to move a little bit for space. So same thing. So set yourself up, keep a little tension in your core, rest your head on one hand, the other hand's at the back of your head. Lift that elbow up as high as you can, relax that shoulder away from your ear, lift your hand off your head to meet your elbow, extend to a high Y, big rotation around, hand to your butt or your back. Lower that elbow. Same thing on the way back. Lift that elbow, lift that hand to meet, extend to a low Y, rotate around, hand to your head, lower that elbow. So give me a couple more reps on this side, moving with control. I'll let you move at your own pace. Really focusing on rotation up at the shoulder. Make sure you're still breathing as you're moving. And we'll go finish out your rep. And then bring those hands to your chest. So you're going to do some press ups. So I want you to have your hands on your chest, lengthen through those legs, lengthen through your spine. Pull that sternum through, press up as far as you can. So you're working on some thoracic extension mid-back. I don't want it to feel like you're hinging at your low back. The hinge point is at the low back. So pull that sternum through, press through those hands along with your spine, slowly lower back down. Give me a few press ups. You're just going to move at your own pace. And then just go one more, and you can press all the way up and sit those hips back in child's pose. So if you need a prop, if you need a pillow or blanket, you can sit it behind there. But you're going to go back to that breathing, again, focusing on that back rib cage. Your arms are going to extend out in front of you. Take some deep breaths. Inhale through your nose. Let that back rib cage expand. So you're going to round over those legs, round your spine over those legs. Really work on that back rib cage expanding as you inhale, full inhale. And exhale everything out. Inhale, let that rib cage expand. Exhale everything out. Inhale, let that rib cage expand. Exhale everything out. And we'll go one more breath here. Full inhale. Exhale everything out. You can rock around a little bit, and then you're going to come up to your hands and your knees. And now we're going to move our whole spine. We're going to do some cat-cow. So round your spine. Look in towards your belly button. Reach through those hands. And then tip that tailbone. Pull that sternum through. Look up towards the ceiling. So move at your own pace, but you're going to move through some cat-cow. If you need a prop and want to put your knees on a pillow or fold up a blanket, you can do so, but you're just going to move your spine. So round your spine, look in towards your belly button, tip that tailbone, pull that sternum through, look up towards the ceiling. Move at your own pace. We'll go one more each direction. And then I want you to come back to a neutral spine. So come back to tabletop. You're going to turn those palms towards you. So fingertips towards you rather, and just do a little rocking. Rock your butt over your heels, shoulders over your wrists. So move at your own pace. Move through a controlled and pain-free range of motion with this rocking. But fingertips towards you. You can go one towards you, one away from you. And switch. And then we're going to turn both our fingertips away from us, and now we're going to rock from one side to the other. So side to side with your rocking. And then come back to center. And now we're going to go through another round of cat-cow. But this time through, I want you to move one segment of your vertebrae at a time. Like you're crawling your fingertips. If you walked your fingertips up and down your spine. So you can start in either direction. I'm going to start rounded out. So look in towards your belly button, round that spine, tuck that tailbone. If you start at your tailbone, so if you start going the other direction, if you start with your tailbone, your head will be the last thing to move. So one vertebrae at a time. Segmentally up that spine towards your head. Head is the last thing to move. If you start with your head, tuck that chin. Cervical spine moves. Thoracic spine moves. So mid-back. Low back moves. Tailbone moves. Round everything out. So one vertebrae at a time. I'll let you play around with that. Move at your own pace, but move slow and controlled up and down your spine. So practice starting with your head, the motion. Practice starting with your tailbone, the motion up and down your spine. Notice if there's any areas of your spine that feels like it wants to jump in quickly, or you don't have as much motion, or it feels choppy or awkward. That's okay. We're just going to move through it. But pay attention to how that feels as you move one vertebrae at a time and move super slow-mo. Again, practice starting from either direction. One might feel easier than the other. One might feel awkward. That's okay. We'll go a couple more. And then just finish out whatever rep you're on. Finish out and come back to a neutral spine. You're going to go back to that rocking, but this time through you're going to go adductor rocking. So take one leg and stick it out to the side. Plant that foot. Rock your butt over your heels. Again, shoulders over your wrists. But give me some adductor rocking. So adductors or inner thighs here should feel like a little stretch. Get a little movement. So plant that foot. That whole foot stays planted on the ground to start. Move again through a pain-free range of motion. Give me that rocking. And then you can allow that foot to rock with you. So see how that feels. Allow that foot to rock with you. And then you're going to go ahead and come back to center and plant that foot. We're going to do some lifts of this foot that's extended, of his leg that's extended. So give me a reach to those hands. Brace your core if you can without leaning. Give me just a few lifts of that foot off the ground. It should feel like a lot of action up at that hip. It's okay if you can't lift it. Let's go one more. And then rock it out a little bit. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So I'll go ahead and turn around. We'll do a little rocking. Oh my gosh, Mateo looks very cute. He's relaxing. So plant that foot. Give me that rocking. Butt over your heels, shoulders over your wrists. Pain-free range of motion. Keep that foot planted to start. And then you can go ahead and let that foot rock with you. And then come back to center, plant that foot. Give me a reach like you're pushing through the ground. Brace your core. See if you can do a few lifts without leaning. No momentum lifts. And then plant that foot, rock it out. And then come back to center, wrist under your shoulders, knees under your hips. And then give me just a little bit of a lean back. So just sit those hips back just a little bit over your heels. We're going to do some thoracic extension, or rotation rather. And you're going to move with your breath. So bring that hand back up to your head. Inhale. Reach that elbow towards the arm that's planted. Exhale and rotate away. Reach through that hand, rotate that thoracic spine. Inhale back to center. Exhale and rotate. Inhale back to center. Exhale and rotate. Inhale back to center. Exhale and rotate. So this rotation is happening through your trunk. Your mid back is rotating. You're using your core. I'm not pulling with my arm to rotate. So move with your breath. We'll go one more. Inhale and then exhale. Give me that rotation. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So hand to your head. Give me a little rotation towards the arm that's planted. Inhale and then exhale. Exhale everything out. Give me some rotation away. Inhale back to center. Exhale and rotate. Inhale back to center. Exhale and rotate. Do a couple more. And last one. And then set that hand back down. You're going to hover those knees off the ground. So reach like you're pushing through the ground. Tuck those toes under. Hover those knees off the ground. And give me 3 breaths. Inhale through your nose. Let that rib cage expand. Keep that reach. Exhale everything out. Inhale, let that rib cage expand. Exhale, keep that reach to the floor like you're pushing the ground away from you. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale everything out. Slowly lower down. Give me a little bit of rocking, and then we're going to press back up to that hover hold. And I want you to, from here, shift those hips back and reach across the midline. So I'm reaching through that hand that's planted. I'm going to reach across the midline towards the opposite foot and just take a couple breaths from here. You can look through that armpit, or you can keep your gaze down at the ground or towards that back foot. And then set that hand back down, slow as you can. Bend those knees, lower back to that hover hold. And then shake it out, rock it out a little bit. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So again, keep a reach. Tuck those toes under, shift back, reach across the midline towards that foot. You don't have to touch it, but just reaching towards that foot. Take some deep breaths from here. And then place that hand back in front of you. Slowly bend those knees, lower all the way back down. And then you can rock it out. Now we're going to alternate between the two. So go back up into that hover hold. Keep a reach like you're pushing through the floor. Tuck those toes under. Hover those knees off the ground. You're going to shift back and reach across the midline. Place that hand back down. Slowly lower. Maintaining that reach through those hands. Shift back, reach other side. Place that hand back down, slowly lower. So just move at your own pace from one side to the other, lowering down in between. We'll go one more each side. And then come all the way back down. Sit back in child's pose. Again, extend those arms out and take a few deep breaths from here. Just take one more breath and we're going to come back up to our tabletop position. Wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips. We're going to do some hip controlled articular rotation. So now we're going to rotate at the hip. So I want you to keep everything square. Hips and shoulders stay square. The motion is happening at your femur, your leg bone, in the socket of your pelvis. So we'll take one leg, draw that knee to your chest. Extend out to the side. So abduct out to the side. Once you hit your sticking point, again, I don't want you to rotate. You're just going out as far as you can. Start internally rotating, heel to the ceiling. Come circle it all the way around. So keep those hips and shoulders square. Don't let that pelvis drop. So keep that neutral spine. Once you go there, lower all the way back down. You're going to come back the other direction. Heel to ceiling. Again, only lift as far as you can without letting that pelvis move. Abduct out to the side, externally rotate, big circle all the way back around. We're going to do a couple more on this side. Knee to chest, abduct, heel to the ceiling, circle it around, lower down, heel to the ceiling. Everything stays square, abduct, rotate it all the way around. Let's go one more on this side. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So draw that knee to your chest, abduct out to the side. So again, we're not rotating our trunk, we're not rotating our pelvis. Heel to ceiling. Circle it all the way around, lower it back down. Same thing on the way back, heel to the ceiling, keeping that stack, rib cage stacked, abduct out to the sides, big circle all the way back around to the beginning. So move at your own pace, slow and controlled. We'll go 2 more reps on this side of our hip rotations. And then once you've finished with your 2 reps on this side, I want you to come up into a half kneel. So 1 knee up, 1 knee down, tuck that back toe under, square everything off. So rib cage is stacked over your pelvis. Give me a big reach with this hand, same side as the knee that's down, and just take a few deep breaths. So you're thinking about presenting this back hip forward. I'm not just shifting my hips forward. So tuck that pelvis under a little bit. Present this part of your hip forward. Give me a reach. Take some deep breaths. And then you're going to go ahead and switch. So 1 knee up, 1 knee down, tuck that back toe under, stack that rib cage under your pelvis. So tuck your pelvis under just a little bit. Think about presenting this back hip. Present that hip forward. You're not just pushing it forward in space. So present this hip forward, create some length. Give me that reach. Take some deep breaths and relax. And come back to your hands and knees. You're going to go through that again. So I'll let you move at your own pace. Super slow-mo with these hip cars. So rotations at the hip, controlled, articular, or just joint rotations. Draw 1 knee to your chest, abduct out to the side. Nothing moves from your spine. Nothing moves from your pelvis. Heel to ceiling. Internally rotate. Big circle around. Lower it down. Come back the other way. So give me 3 to 4 super slow-mo quality reps on one side. I want you to think, if you had a glass of water on your back, nothing would move. That thing would stay right where it's at because your pelvis is not moving. You're not shifting your trunk from one side to the other. It's just your leg, your femur, leg bone, moving in the socket in your pelvis. So, should be pain-free range of motion. Move through whatever range of motion you have currently without compensating, without moving anything else. So, 1 more rep. Or finish out your rep. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Knee to chest, out to the side, abduct, internally rotate, heel to ceiling, all the way around. Again, 3 to 4, slow and controlled, quality rotations up at the hip. Move at your own pace. I would rather you move super slow-mo and only get in 2 reps than move through it quickly. So just move at whatever pace you need to move to tune into your body, to just rotate at that hip. You can finish out your rep and come back up to that half kneel. So this time through, tuck that back toe under, square everything off. I want you to think about anchoring this front leg as if you were going to move your foot, drag your midfoot back towards you, but you're not going to actually move it. Then I want you to reach both arms overhead. So what you're going to do is you're going to laterally flex. So now we're going to move just our trunk, from one side to the other. I'm going to turn a little bit this way. So what I want to see, I'm not pulling with my arms. Pretend like you're holding something between your arms. You're going to laterally flex your trunk from one side back to center to the other. So one angle of your ribs and your pelvis is getting close to each other. The other one's getting further away. Come back to center, other side. So you're going to stabilize in this half kneel position while your trunk is moving. So nothing's moving from here, nothing's moving from that foot. So just move at your own pace. Again, you're not pulling with your arms. Pretend like you're holding something between your hands. Your trunk is moving as a unit, stabilizing from one side to the other. Lots of time, each direction, or each side rather, and then you can go ahead and flip. So tuck that back toe under, square everything off, anchor that front leg, give me that reach, move from one side to the other. Nothing's moving from your lower body, just your trunk, and your arms are along for the ride. Let's go one more each direction, each side, and then you can sit back in child's pose. Again, take some deep breaths, focusing on that back rib cage. And just take one more breath, and then we're going to stand up. Okay, stand on up from the floor. Give me a split stance, one foot in front of the other. And I want you to come up on your back midfoot, drop your center just a bit. So you can be in a full split squat position, or you can just kind of be in this split stance position. We're going to go back to those shoulder sweeps we did, but we're going to go both sides at the same time. So palms or back of your hands to your butt or your back, elbows wide. You're going to pull those elbows back, lift those hands to meet, extend to a low Y. Rotate up at the shoulder to a high Y, hands to your head. Lift those elbows, lift your hands to meet, extend to a high Y, rotate at the shoulder, hands to your butt or your back. So move slow and controlled. Move at your own pace though. You're just holding in that split stance or split squat stance. Rotations, big shoulder sweeps. We'll go one more. And then you're going to do the exact same thing, but you're going to put the other foot in front. So switch your feet, step back, come up on your back midfoot, drop your center, get into that hip a little bit, hands to your butt or your back. Pull those elbows back, lift your hands to meet your elbows, extend, squeeze, low Y, rotate at the shoulder, hands to that high Y, and to your head. So again, move slow and controlled. Give me a couple more. We'll go two more like this. Move at your own pace. And last one, finish out your rep. And then come to a stand. You can put your hands on your hips, and I want you to do some pogos. So stack your rib cage over your pelvis. You're going to drive down through your midfoot. You're thinking about being rigid with your ankle. So give me some pogos. So midfoot is driving. Oh, my tail. And last one, and then go wide with your legs. So go ahead wide with your legs. We're gonna shift just from one side to the other. I want you to keep your whole foot planted. So on either side, you have your tripod of your foot. Your little toe, the ball of your little toe, right under it. Big toe, the ball of your big toe, and your heel. So your whole midfoot is planted. Spread those toes wide. You're not scrunching them. You're just gonna shift your weight over and sit those hips back. So keep that foot planted. Keep that tripod of your foot. You're gonna reach across the midline. So reach the opposite hand towards that foot. Come all the way back up. Push through that foot. Present those hips forward. Shift and reach to the other side. So start connecting that foot to your hip. Just move at your own pace from one side to the other. So I'm sitting that hip back, keeping that whole foot planted on either side. Slow and controlled from one side to the other. Push through that foot. Really connect that foot to the hip as you shift from one side to the other. Push, 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 push. Present those hips forward as you shift to the other side. So as I'm shifting over, I'm sitting those hips backwards in space. Reach across the midline. We're gonna go one more, and then you're gonna go right back in to that split stance or split squat position with your shoulder sweeps. This time through, I want you to barely float that front heel. So your midfoot is going to be on the ground. I'm not up in a calf raise. Barely float, as if you slid a piece of paper under that heel. So that heel is barely floating off the ground. Your midfoot is driving through the floor. You can go right back into those shoulder sweeps. Again, we're going to do a couple on each side. Move at your own pace. Give me 3 to 4. Moving with control, floating that heel in the front. So pull those shoulders back, lift your hands to meet, extend to a low Y, rotate up at the shoulder, hands to a high Y, and then to your head. Same thing on the way back, high Y, rotate, hands to your butt or your back. Give me one more rep, or finish out the rep that you're on. And then lower that heel. Go ahead and switch. So come into that split stance or split squat stance. Get into that hip a little bit. Barely float that heel as if you slid a piece of paper. So again, you're not in a calf raise. You're just barely floating that heel. Give me 3 or 4 more of those shoulder sweeps on this other side. And then go one more rep, or finish out the rep you're on. And then come all the way back up. We're gonna go back to those pogos. So you can stick with the pogos here, or you can give me a few pogos and then drop back to a split jump. A few pogos, other side, drop back. Pogo, pogo, drop back. Pogo, pogo, drop back. That is up to you. So you can stick with these, driving down through that midfoot, rigid with your ankle, or you can give me pogos to a split jump. We'll go one more, and then go wide with your legs. Give me that shift from one side to the other. So lateral shift and reach, push through that foot, come back up, lateral shift and reach, push through that foot and come up. So both feet stay planted, tripod with your foot. Transition as smoothly as you can from one side to the other. We'll do a couple more. And then you're going to come all the way down to your back. Let's go one more. And come all the way back up and come down to your back. Extend those legs long. Draw one knee to your chest and just take some deep breaths. So really lengthen through this leg. If you want, you can roll the put a pillow under here so it's a little bit like this, or a blanket, but you're going to draw that knee to your chest. Keep your hips square. So I don't want you hiking one hip up. Keep those hips square. And then you're going to flex your foot and come into a hamstring stretch on this side. If you need to bend this knee, you can. If you need to grab a towel and wrap it around your foot and hold it, you can. Just keep that foot flexed, toes towards you, and take some deep breaths. And then start doing some ankle circles. So if your foot was a pencil, your heel is going to be the tip. So you're leading with that heel. Big circle around. Just move at your own pace. And then go ahead and switch directions. And then point your foot, draw your knee into your chest. We're going to alternate between the two. Flex your foot, hamstring stretch. Bring those toes towards you. Draw your knee into your chest, point your foot, flex your foot, hamstring stretch. So just do a couple back and forth. And then draw both knees into your chest and go ahead and switch. So extend that other leg long, knee to chest. Just take some deep breaths on this side. And then go ahead and switch, hamstring stretch, flex that foot, bring those toes towards you. Again, you can bend that other knee, plant your foot if you need. Take some deep breaths. And then go ahead and draw those circles. Lead with your heel. So your heel would be the tip of your pencil, drawing the circle. And then go ahead and switch directions. And then draw that knee to your chest, point your toe, and hamstring stretch, flex, bring those toes towards you. Just alternate between the two. Give me a few like this, back and forth. And then go ahead and draw both knees into your chest, rock around, or you can grab those feet and happy baby. Take a few breaths. And then plant those feet, or you can extend those legs long, and we're just going to finish with a few breaths here. So I want you to inhale through your nose for a count of 4. And exhale for a count of 8. Or if 4 and 8 feels too much, do 3 and 6. But elongate the exhale. And as you lay here breathing, I want you to think of just one thing that you're proud of about yourself. One thing. Could be something that happened lately. Could be something just throughout your life you're really proud of. But just think about one thing about yourself, or what you've accomplished, or how you've shown up in the world, or for others, or for yourself, that makes you feel really proud. And then I want you to think about one thing, or multiple things, but at least one thing in your life currently that makes you feel grateful. What are you grateful for? Just one thing. I'll tell you mine. I feel extremely grateful for community, for my family and friends and people in my life who are my community, who I care for deeply, and they care for me. So just one thing you're grateful for as you sit here and finish out your breathing or lay here. And take one more breath. And you can stay here and breathe as long as you want. You can roll on up and be done. But you are done for today. And I want to thank you for moving with me and just remind you that you are worthy as you are. You don't have to do a single thing to be any more worthy of love, of care, of support, of being seen and heard, and all of the things. So thank you for moving with me today. Thank you for doing a little something for yourself and your body today, and we will see you next time.